A metabolic disorder occurs when abnormal chemical reactions in your body disrupt this process. When this happens, you might have too much of some substances or too little of other ones that you need to stay healthy. There are different groups of disorders. Metabolic syndrome translates to high blood glucose, high blood pressure, high lipid profile, large waist size, low high-density lipoprotein levels. This can be translated to high sugar and salt absorption, thus mitochondrial DNA cellular byproduct corrosion. Consequences are of the example fatty acids, especially of prolonged abuse over duration. Take a moment to self-assess stress response. Have you experienced these symptoms at any point? You've heard of adrenal chrome enzyme harvesting. Here's an answer for why, of what that has been about, and the symptomatic response to the initial causation. Cortisol is a steroid hormone that is produced by your two adrenal glands, which sit on top of each kidney. When you are stressed, increased cortisol is released into your bloodstream. Having the right cortisol balance is essential for your health, and producing too much or too little cortisol can cause health problems. What class of drug is paliperidone? Paliperidone is a class of medications called atypical antipsychotics second generation. Marketed as Invega, it works by changing the activity of certain natural substances in the brain. Paliperidone is used to treat the symptoms of schizophrenia, a mental illness that causes disturbed or unusual thinking, loss of interest in life, and strong or inappropriate emotions. What does paliperidone do to the brain? Paliperidone acts mainly by blocking the receptors for the neurotransmitters dopamine and serotonin, which are involved in schizophrenia. By blocking these receptors, paliperidone helps to normalize the activity of the brain and reduce symptoms. What does haloperidol do to the brain? Haloperidol is a high-potency first-generation typical antipsychotic drug and one of the most frequently used antipsychotic medications worldwide. While haloperidol has demonstrated pharmacologic activity at a number of receptors in the brain, it exerts its antipsychotic effect through its strong antagonism of the dopamine receptor, particularly within the mesolimbic and mesocortical systems of the brain. Haloperidol competitively blocks postsynaptic dopamine receptors in the mesolimbic system of the brain, thereby eliminating dopamine neurotransmission and leading to anti-delusionary and anti-hallucinogenic effects. Antagonistic activity mediated through D2 dopamine receptors in the chemoreceptive trigger zone, or CTZ, that accounts for its antiemetic effect and activity. The factors. As a hydrogenesis infestation via perspiration plumes, combined with biotechnical aggravated atomization and megalomaniac behavioral personification, the mania of psychotic concentrate is easy and simple to concluding as a biohacking derivative, especially combined of the photoluminescent absorption and neural osmosis resulting as a neural toxicity, neurodegenerative viral diffusion, especially over duration. I would now like to bring your attention to interesting links to correlative facts, precognitive and psychic interrelations and sharing of experiencing, reminiscence of the idioms regarding mind melding, community of the body sharing of symbiosis, sustainment and achievements of evolutions, recognition and alliance, alignment and friendly conception, repatriation and reconciliations. A primary focus of family. With that being said, it is important to recognize the confirmation bias and conflict of interest occurring corroborated via the following links displayed on your screen. It is recommended to take note and acknowledge what informational facts are provided, specifically the auditory transcripts. I think the chemtrails have been an ongoing flooding program designed with cloud seeding hydrogenic herbicides and pesticides, used as chemical weapons as modes of omnivariance of full spectrum dominance, at thresholds of lobotomy designed of intention to placating, subduing and incapacitating the entire population, with techniques as a primary focus of interfacing alternate spectrums, primarily as a black body and white body radiation device and devicification, and petrochemical derivative acids, literally, combined of hybridization via chemical alteration and modifiers, as a concoction designed as a caustic corrosion, corruption and compromisation stratagem, focused as a harvest methodology. Take cortisol, for example, a hormone that almost every life form produces, that is connected to the adrenal gland, and you've heard of the adrenal chrome enzyme harvesting. Well, what if that's being performed as a bioplasma cytoplasmic transfusion and a molecular fusion of dreamscapes and filtering of molecular diffusion imposed as a macrocosm filtration combined of photon absorption and light and thermal spectrums? That could be indicative of just why there's a handicapped prevalence, especially of autistic spectrums, as a perpetuated sinister psychological warfare and a caustic cytoplasmic to plasmic infestation directly associated to the corporeal organics of biological bodies.